What's up, Lego builders? Sorry about that. I was having microphone issues. Because, you know, the same microphone that I've been using for years sometimes just doesn't register on my device. I do the same thing almost twice a week. I'm like, I don't, about had it. About had it with my microphone. It's so annoying. All right, let's pull up the stream, shall we? Let's see here. Let's see who's hanging out. Welcome, everybody. We have 187th Legion Games Rule. Where was I? Commander Cody, Douglas, what's up, man? Jake Curtis, basically Bricks, Yuma, Kurtovic, Kaiko, Mayo Hosko, welcome. Fordo Builds, Commander Wolf, Malachi, the Asteroid Mech, nice. 212th, Star Wars Customs. Welcome, how's everyone doing? It is the last day, 2022. What are you guys gonna do with your final day, your final hours of the year? Anyone doing anything fun? He's practically fine. Yeah, it's the dumb microphone. Like everything gets set up so quick, and then the microphone is usually the one thing that I have issues with every time, no matter what I do. It's annoying. I'm a big fan. Thank you, 212. Appreciate it. Sorry I missed the other streams. It's all good. We get busy. Sometimes, you know, got other stuff to do. Been doing pretty good. Good. So, as you guys saw, today is a man and his bricks. Ooh, tired. Taking a little break from the Coruscant builds. I need to be much more consistent with the podcast. But the issue I have is I don't really know what I want to do with my podcast. Like I've had different segments that I've thrown around and tried out, different things that I've done, and some stuff works, some stuff doesn't. Podcast, it's hard because I'm just trying to get it to stick, and I don't really know what to do with it. But you know, I do want to continue it. Hey, Star Wars nerd, it's already 2023. He's got to jump on the new year. He's ahead of the rest of us. That's awesome. Well, welcome, man. Thanks for joining. It's probably pretty late for you, but I appreciate you joining. I'm sorry, I won look a movie? What? Not sure what you mean by that. What's up, Nate Dog? Welcome. Where's Scott? I don't know. Maybe he's doing some early holiday stuff or something. Anyway, so here's what's happening today. I'm going to be doing my A Man and His Bricks episode. For those of you guys who are not familiar with it, I have 3 segments that are kind of, you know, regulars. The first is called Life of an AFOL, and that's kind of where I go through my life. Just talk about what's been going on, what's been happening, what I've been thinking about, you know, stuff I've been trying. Kind of a little bit more behind the scenes of like the Lego. I don't really talk about the Lego building itself as much. But that's the first one. I've got some good stuff in that one. Today I'm going to be talking about trying to start a YouTube channel in 2023, growing a YouTube channel, talking about the best and worst things about YouTube, going full-time on YouTube, goals for next year, and then we're going to be doing a Q&A. So the theme for this episode's Q&A is the new year and new beginnings. So anything to do with like questions on how to start new stuff, my process for starting new things, any other questions you have regarding that. That'll be the middle segment. And then the final one is a creator spotlight where I pick a up and coming channel that's just been killing it that I really like and kind of talk about it, share some things I like, and promote it a little bit. So yeah, that's what's going down this week. I'm also tired and kind of groggy, so hopefully this turns into a decent update. So while I do like the Life of an AFOL and stuff, I won't be super active in the chat because I'm going to be busy trying to, you know, formulate my thoughts and read what I want to talk about. So if anyone's like, hey, he's ignoring me, just let him know I don't, I'm going to miss a bunch of the chats when I'm talking about that. Anyways, glad you guys could all make it. Let's get started. So episode 11 of A Man and His Bricks is finally here. It's been, I think, a couple of months since the last episode. It's just, like I was saying, it's hard to figure out where to put it because I'm really trying to grow the channel right now, and A Man in His Bricks is is a video that does not help grow the channel. But it's one that I feel like is important because it helps you guys see me as more, see kind of like the behind the scenes and see what I do as a creator, as a channel operator, just kind of like a little bit behind, you know, a little bit less of like the Lego building and a little bit more of like the business side of things and the channel growing side of things and just the more personal side of things, which I think, you know, you guys would like. And I like to show to, I like to just show a little bit, you know. I like learning about people and their life behind their businesses and their whatever they're doing, and so I wanted to share some of that. This is gonna be long-winded. I'm already rambling. Anyways, so that's kind of the reason why I keep this podcast going is for the people who like a little bit more cerebral side of things. So I'm going to be talking about a little bit of reflecting next. For anybody who doesn't know, most of you guys probably know. What's up, TJ? Glad I have a mod in the chat now. Thanks for joining, man. Hope you're doing well today. Um, I went full time on YouTube back in June of this year. It was not something I had planned on doing. Like, you know, January 2022, I was like, oh, I was still in the mode of like, yeah, YouTube, it's what I want to do. Like, I'd made that decision already, but I'm like, it might be a couple of years. I'll continue to work at my job until I'm making as much at my job as I am YouTube. And then, you know, I can transfer over to YouTube. And then things kept getting harder and harder with the job. It was a good job, but it was definitely wearing me down. It was not what I wanted to do with the rest of my life. And it was kind of, it was a very physical job. And I've got some physical issues with my body that was making it harder and harder. And it wasn't sustainable. It was basically just breaking me down. And I was getting frustrated because I was like, I can only put so much effort into my YouTube channel. I was growing, but I wasn't growing like I have been growing in the second half. So I was frustrated, and then I was watching a Star Wars theory video, yeah, video on his channel. I don't know if you guys watch him, but he was talking about when he transitioned over to YouTube from his job. He was doing real estate and big time real estate from what it sounded like. So, you know, he was making pretty good money. And he just said like he was so tired of being fake. He was so tired of not living his passion. He was just tired of feeling like he woke up every day and did something that wasn't meaningful. And I related to that on a very deep level. And so he said he just quit and went all in on YouTube. And you know, he wasn't making as much on YouTube as he was real estate. He wasn't really making anything. And that's when I realized like just it was like a lightning bolt hit me, you know, those lightning bolt moments. I don't have a lot of those, but I realized like if I really want to do YouTube, I need to make it happen. I can't wait until it's comfortable, until I can just like easily transition over, because there's going to be no way for me to get a full-time reward in YouTube until I'm putting in a full-time effort. You know what I mean? I was basically working two jobs, YouTube and my other job, framing, and expecting YouTube to eventually give me a full-time yield, monetary wise, views wise, without putting in that full-time effort. And I realized like I just need to quit and I need to go all in on this. So that's what I did in June, and it has been a wild ride. It has been a hard ride. It has not been easy. It has not been stress free. In fact, it's been much more stressful than my other job in many ways. And we're going to kind of get into that. I didn't want to go over and talk about every single thing with YouTube, like, oh, I like this, this, and this, and make a list for you guys just because I feel like I've already done that. No one wants to really hear that. So I decided to just pick the best and worst thing about YouTube the best and worst thing about doing YouTube full time for me in these past 6 months or whatever. So first is, see you later, Lego Republic. Thanks for joining. First is worst. What is the worst thing about you doing YouTube full time? There are a few things. You know, this was kind of a hard thing to pick because there are some very frustrating and hard things about doing it. But I think what I have been struggling with the most has been finding the right kind of creativity. And what I mean by that is it's easy for me to come up with mocks and ideas for videos, and like, and that's not super hard. You know, as you guys can see, I build a lot of mocks. I do a lot of videos. What is very hard is figuring out creating a video that's going to do well, that's going to explode, that's going to go viral. Because right now in this stage, I really need to continue to grow, right? When I hit 100,000, 200,000 subscribers, I don't have to worry so much about going viral because I'll have a much larger core audience that watches each video. And so, instead of having one video do really good, then a bunch not do great, I'll just have a more steady stream and I'll have a bigger potential of stuff going viral. So that's kind of the phase I'm at right now is I need to get as many videos as possible to blow up. And it's really hard to figure out what is going to do well. You would think it would be easy with, how easy it is for some people. But for me, it's been a real struggle. So that's been the hardest thing for me is because my whole channel lives or dies on the being able to be creative in the right way and creating the right kind of video that's going to pop off and do well. And I have an example of how tough it is. Do you guys remember my micro builds video? I did the 10 coolest cities in micro scale, right? And that video blew up. I hoped it would do well, but there was no guarantee. There was no like, oh, this will, no one was like, do this, it'll get you 100,000 views. And it's coming up on 120, 125,000 views, 120, I think, right now, which is crazy considering it came out in November, which is awesome. That's exactly what I was looking for, right? That's the kind of creativity I was talking about where it was fun, cool idea, and it does super well. So I made a sequel to it called The Six Coolest Planets in the Star Wars Galaxy, which I thought, same vein, but different. Getting planets, much larger scale builds than just a little city, and put a lot of work into that one, a lot of effort. I definitely wasn't relying on like, oh, the last one got a lot of views, so this one, so I can like be kind of lazy, phone this one in. I put a lot of work into it. And that one doesn't even have 10,000 views. So you can see right there the difference of about 100,000 views, which it's the same style of video. And so there's the frustration right there of like, I put a lot of investment in that video doing well and growing, and I just lost out on all that. So that's been something, probably one of the worst things, just because it takes so much fun out of YouTube when you're so stressed about videos doing well and coming up with the right video, because I can only put so many videos out per week. And so if a video that flops, I'm like, oh, that was a spot that a different video could have gone out then. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh, I can just pump out a million videos. It's like each video spot takes up a precious amount of time because I only have so much time to be able to do this before, I I take off. Like I don't have an infinite amount of time to just grow the channel and stay at the level I'm at. So that's kind of the worst thing, most frustrating thing. But on the flip side, the best thing, and I gotta plug my laptop in. I thought I did, and I didn't, so I'll be right back. Ugh. Also, if anyone else has just joined, welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the stream. Scott, you made it, man. Hope you're doing well. You're having a good day. This turned grim. Whoa, easy there. Just being real with you guys. I would say it's grim. Like this is a struggle that probably most YouTubers deal with. It's just that's part of YouTube, The best thing is I get to wake up every day and do something meaningful with my life and pursue profession and a career that I'm truly passionate about, which is awesome. I've done a lot of jobs. I've had some good jobs, but every single one of those jobs I never really felt internally motivated for it. There were periods of time, but overall I was very externally motivated. Earn money, provide for my family until I can get the YouTube thing up and running, until I can figure out what I'm doing with my life. And YouTube is very much more internal. Just like I feel like I am doing something meaningful with my life. I'm doing something that I'm very passionate about. I'm doing something that brings me an immense amount of satisfaction and joy. And I just feel better about myself doing it, which is awesome. And the reason it's meaningful to me is because one of the reasons I started YouTube is because I saw how much garbage was out in the world in social media. How many people put out lies, falsehoods, bad content, bad influences, bad examples, bad ideas of things to do, bad examples of ways to live your life. And I was like, I want to contribute something good to the world. I want to be a force for good. I want to have a platform that people can come and leave inspired, enlightened, and more kind of like inspired to do something with their life, pick up an old passion, recreate, I don't know, an old hobby that they left behind. And so that's kind of been one of the driving forces behind my channel, is to create that for people, so people can come here and watch my stuff and be like, man, I want to do something now, whether it be mock building, painting, I don't know, whatever it is they're passionate about. But that's kind of why it's meaningful and I feel passionate about it, is because yeah, I'm building with Legos, but there is a deeper purpose behind that. Let's see. I'm gonna go through my notes. Oh yeah, so kind of going back to what I was talking about, externally versus internally motivated. Like, what I mean by that is, when you work at a job that you don't really like, you have to push yourself out of bed. You have to push yourself to go to work. You have to push yourself to stay motivated at work. And with YouTube, I find it much more of a pull. Like, I'm like, I want to make videos. I want to edit. I don't say, it's obviously not all the time. There are definitely many times that I don't want to do it, and many times that I have to struggle. But overall, in general, I don't have a boss, and I still find, and I still am working. I'm still producing, still pushing myself, still staying on a schedule, because the motivation is not so much external as it's now internal. Even when I have a video do bad, like I did door-to-door sales, summer sales, a long time ago, and when you would get rejections, the rejections would really get to me, and I would just be like, get down on myself. Sometimes it would motivate me, but a lot of times it'd be like, man, like I just know what to expect already. But when I have a video do poorly on YouTube, I've noticed I've started to just get even more motivated to put out a better video. I'm like, this one didn't do good. All right, it's time to like refocus, regroup, and put out an even better video. And so it's been nice, because I find I'm much more happy in life and I'm much more satisfied. I have a much higher quality of life, even though there's a lot of stress still. It's stress of pushing me towards something better, instead of stress of fighting against something that I don't like or even hate doing. Looks like we got some new people in the chat. Director KW, what's up, man? How are you doing? Budget Bricks, thank you guys so much for joining. Bittersweet, I'm actually getting the pieces together to make a Batcave set piece from some Batman brick films. That's awesome. I hope that goes well. Yo, Kyle, if you keep spamming numbers in the chat, you're going to get put in timeout. So watch the spamming, man. So that's kind of the best thing, I think, to come out of YouTube. And I get to build with Lego every day. Like, it's sometimes I can't fully comprehend, like, I get to wake up every day and build with Legos for my job. Like, this isn't like, oh, I just do this for fun now. Like, this is a business, this is like buying Lego for Bricklink is now more of a business transaction or business side of things for me, which is cool. Like, it's still fun, but I also have that kind of like excitement towards it now, of like, this is a much bigger deal than it used to be. So those are kind of like the best and worst things of YouTube this year. And yeah, I don't know. It was a good year. Obviously, it was only half, but I'm excited to see what this next year brings. And speaking of next year, the next thing I want to talk about is kind of like what's going to go on next year, like with the YouTube channel. What are my goals? What are my plans? And I don't have a lot. A lot of my goals and plans this year are actually focused on my personal life and my mentality. Like, I feel like I'm doing a lot with YouTube, but there are some other things in my life that I want to change and fix that I think will bleed into the channel and really help with things. So I don't have a ton of goals for this year. Really, I only have three main goals. So my first one is I want a video to hit 1 million views. Whether it's a video I've already put out, or it's a video that is yet to come out, but I want a video of mine to hit 1 million views in 2023. That's just, I don't know, that's a huge milestone. That's really cool. It's never happened to me yet. And I think with how YouTube is now, it's much more possible than it was a couple of years ago. So that's one of them. The second is to hit 80,000 subscribers, which I know is a lot, but I mean, at the beginning of this year, I had 12,000 subscribers and I finished the year with almost 33,000. So I more than doubled my sub count this year, and I think I can do it again. I think I can do it again this year by doubling my by doing more than, I can't speak today, by more than doubling my subs count again, because I'm at 30, almost 33, 66, at throw on another 20,000 and I'm pretty much there. So that's kind of, I don't know. I was gonna do 100,000, but I was like, I feel like I'm just throwing 100,000 up there because it's a big number. And I want to push myself and achieve goals that are hard to achieve, but still somewhat realistic. Because I don't know, 100,000 would be really hard. Maybe if I really took off, but I think 80,000 is much more achievable. So that's my second one. And then my third one is I want to start pulling in 1 million views per month consistently. In November, like November, December, I pulled in about 725,000 views, which is pretty good considering I have, 33,000 subscribers. So I feel like if I can almost hit a million, if I can almost hit a million with that, by the time I hit 80,000 subs, I should be able to pull that in pretty consistently. So those are my three main goals for YouTube for this year. Our collab, maybe, I don't know. He doesn't really do collabs with people like I don't know, smaller people like me, I guess. I don't know. 80,000 is a lot, but this last year to me 25,000 was a lot. I honestly didn't think I was going to hit that number. So the fact that I almost got 10,000 more than that is promising, and I feel like I can do it. My goal for YouTube is to have a vid get 100 views and 50 likes. Nice, that's a good goal. Achievable, but you can do it. How was your Christmas coconut? It was pretty good. I got some good gifts and stuff. All right, so that's pretty much it for Life of an AFOL. I don't really think there's anything else I want to talk about. I don't want to drone on too long about this section. I want to interact with you guys. But that was pretty much the big things that the big takeaways that I had from the end of the year. Still enjoy doing what I do. I still really want to, do it moving forward, and I want to do much bigger things. So definitely growing, definitely getting better. I got some good videos planned for this year so far. I'm excited. Got some good challenges. But yeah, so now I'm going to open it up to you guys and we're going to interact a little bit more, and we are going to have a themed Q&A. So the theme is like new year, new beginnings, anything to do with that, like goals, plans, how to do that. And then I kind of also want to talk about um, what are the odds of being able to grow or start a YouTube channel in 2023? Because this is something I've been thinking a lot about for some reason. I don't really know why. What's up, Katie Brick Studios? How you doing, man? So drop your questions in the chat while I'm talking. So I think the reason I've been thinking about YouTube so much is just because I think about how lucky I am that I started back in 2019. And I think, is it really impossible to now start? Like, was that the last time that it was, that you had a chance of growing? Just because YouTube is so oversaturated now. It's so over focused on going viral and shorts and the algorithm that I feel like it's much, much harder to to start a channel and grow. But on the flip side, I think it's also easier now to grow than it was back when I started. Because back when I started, the different niches, sections on YouTube were very separated, very segregated. Like I didn't really ever have any videos that would break outside of the Lego community. Like they were all very, we had our very small bubble that we were in, and people could grow and do stuff in there, but you grew much slower just because you could only pick from people there. But I feel like the way the algorithm is now, I feel like some of my videos are getting pushed out to people who don't really watch a ton of Lego content. And so I'm bringing in, it's almost like it's allowing me to cast a much wider net and pull in more people. Whereas, if I put out a building challenge a couple of years ago, I really don't think it would have gone as viral just because of the way the algorithm was set up. And then there's people like Sacred Bricks and TD Bricks who really paved the way for making Lego videos more mainstream. And I think people took an interest in those and were like, well, what else is out there? And that really allowed a lot of us other smaller people to grow and to improve. So I think it is possible, but I think you have to be you have to have a very solid vision and goal with what you want your channel to be. Because if you just go out there and you just try to go viral over and over again, you're going to probably get some videos that have a lot of views, but the issue with that is you need to keep people there. People are going to watch this video, but it's like, why do they stay? Why do they subscribe? And building that core audience is what's going to help you survive on YouTube. That's where you're going to pull a lot of your views, support, interaction from on a day-to-day basis. And so I think you really have to solidify this is what I want my channel to do and what I want my channel to be. So that way, when those videos do go viral, you know, people come here and see like, oh, it isn't just about viral videos. He's got like weekly series. He's got things to keep me coming back, whether it's Q&A, podcast, mock building, tutorials, challenges, anything you can think of. It just needs to be very focused on having that as well. So having two kinds of videos, the videos that target the new and people who haven't watched, the new audience, and then the returning audience. So to make sure that you really feed to make sure you really feed into both of those, because if you try to do just one, you know, you're going to lack what the other brings to the table. If you only focus on the core audience, you're not really going to grow. So I think it is possible. I just think you have to be very focused and very kind of vision and goal oriented. All right, let me get to some of your questions. It's kind of scary that 2019 was 4 years ago. I know, it's crazy. Is the stream lagging for you guys? It's lagging on my screen, but I don't know if that's just me. How do you make good videos with a small budget? Ooh, man. I would say plan multiple videos with the same kinds of parts. So sit down and like think about different videos you can make and figure out how many different videos you can make with the parts you have at hand. I know that might sound kind of obvious, but like that's what I've really started to try doing, is looking at my parts and really maximizing what do I have available and how many different ways can I use it. Like you guys have seen those round 1x1 trans-clear blue bricks. I use those in a lot of different videos. And so really trying to focus on what you have instead of what you don't have. Build with what you have, because that's what I do. Like I used to think like, oh, I need to spend, the more money I spend, the better my videos will be. And that's true to an extent. But when I went full time on YouTube and didn't have as much money to spend, I realized I can really um, I can really maximize and make more videos than I realized. So, you know, if you have, I don't know, however much money, kind of really pay attention to what you have and be like, all right, I want to plan out a bunch of videos and figure out, okay, what kind of pieces can I use throughout all these different videos, and then buy those pieces. So that's one thing. Really planning is a big deal, because if you don't really know what you're doing throughout that month and you have to buy a little bit of parts each time you do put out a video, that's going to add up. But if you sit down and plan out a whole month or at least 2 to 3 weeks of content and then try and get one order to fill all those 3 weeks, then you'll have a consistent flow of content, even if you don't have a consistent flow of cash throughout those 3 weeks. It's not lagging. Okay, good. That's weird. I don't know why Mine, mine does that. Coconut, when you first started your channel, how many estimated views did you get on every video? 50, 25 maybe. Like when I very first started, I didn't get a ton of views. I got a decent amount, maybe 100. It's hard to remember, to be honest. But yeah, I pulled in pretty regular. Like I'd say 50 to a couple hundred views maybe. In the early beginning, it was like, you know, 25, 30, 50 views. But I feel like I uploaded pretty quickly, and I really pushed, like I went out and tried to interact with the community and bring in a lot of people. So I was able to grow fairly quickly in the beginning, but it wasn't a whole lot in the beginning. How does your channel have to be targeted on a specific theme? Oh, does your channel have to be targeted on a specific theme, or is it possible to maybe release some set reviews, mocks, and stop motion and gain a consistent audience? Yeah. Oh, yeah. 100%. It can have all kinds of themes. I think like some people, it just depends on you as a person. Like it depends more on your interests. I would say like what are you passionate about? Because me personally, I'm not very passionate about reviews, and I'm not very passionate about stop motions, which is why you don't really see any of those on the channel, because I don't want to put effort into something I'm not passionate about. So I know it's not gonna turn out super great, but there are people who can do all of them. So it kind of depends like what gets you really excited. What are you really passionate about? And I would say focus on those videos and figure out how do I make these videos different and unique to my channel to draw people of like, ooh, I associate, you know, the Hiders channel with this kind of content or with this thing in particular. Because like one thing I really wanted to do was I wanted to interact with my community. Like I try to reply to lots and lots of comments, heart comments, you know, interact in the video so people feel heard. and then build really big mocks. I know there are other people who do that, but I'm trying to get to the point where I differentiate my mocks from everybody else. That's why I don't do Kashyyyk. That's why I don't do Scarif. That's why I don't do Crate, is because, I'm trying to do stuff that people aren't really doing at a scale people aren't really doing. And so just try and figure out a way to like make your content unique. You don't really have to be like, I'm only doing mock videos. That just happens to be like, that's really what I like doing the most. Hope that answers your question. I remember you're watching your first course on update video back in June. Quite a ride. Yeah, it has been quite a ride. It's been wild. Sorry if I'm missing stuff too. Coconut, when you first, I already read that one. How do you want to improve in 2023? Well, I kind of already talked about those. On a personal level, I want to be more mindful of my health, and I want to do more like meditation and stuff and be a little bit more present. One thing I realized when going YouTube full time, my brain was in a million different places all at once, which meant I was never really present, which sounds kind of weird. And like, I don't know, I didn't used to buy into that stuff a whole lot, but then as I began to experience that, I realized like, wow, if I don't gather myself and really focus on the task at hand, I'm really not present in putting out a good product. So that's one thing I really want to focus on. What kind of camera do you use? I use a Canon EOS M50 and then my phone as well. Let's see. You guys have any other questions? Ooh, David Boyd with the $1.99 donation. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you, David. I hope you have a good day. Hope you get to spend it with some doing what you love, doing what makes you happy, whatever that is. What are you up to today, David? Do anything fun? Coconut, do you collect Black Series? No, I don't collect Black Series. Can you make more budget mock builds? Yeah, definitely. Those ones are hard just because I have to like what's the word? I have to build the mock and then figure out the price, which is it's such a pain, but I would like to do more for sure. I've been working at my job for almost 20 years as a financial advisor, and this is advice for young people that I wouldn't recommend. I mean, then I would leave if I were you, Kyle. To be honest, like it doesn't really seem like you enjoy being here or want to be here, so I would just recommend unsubscribing and I don't know, going somewhere else with people you want to talk to because it just seems like you're kind of unhappy over here. Also, just because you work at a job for 20 years doesn't mean you have like any credibility. I knew people who worked for jobs at 50 years and I wouldn't take any advice from them. So the length of time spent at something shouldn't dictate how qualified you are to talk about something. It definitely helps, but I don't know why you would use that as like your, I don't know, your qualifications. You were like, what if you worked at Walgreens or like Walmart for 20 years? Like, it just depends. I think it depends on more what you do with the time that you worked somewhere rather than spending a lot of time working somewhere. That's just me. Do you have any advice for building your first ever mock? First ever mock. I would say check out, so I have a couple tutorials on YouTube in my, I think it's the tutorial playlist. And I would say check those out. I have one, it's called Mock Building for Beginners. So I think it's like 5 tips for like starting, starting your beginning mocks, starting your early mocks. And then I have stuff for intermediate advanced. So I would say check out my tutorials and see, just kind of see what's there, see if there's anything that helps. That would be what I would say. I tend to turn people in the direction of the tutorials. That way because I'm not always the best at explaining in the moment, and plus get an extra view out of it. All right, any other questions? We'll go for a few more minutes, answer some more questions, and then we will move on to the creator spotlight. This week I'm going to be working on another tutorial. This one is going to be mock building 5. Well, I think it's going to end up being 6 because they're a little bit quicker. So I think I'll do 6 mock building tips to improve or 6 mock building. I don't even remember what the title is, but basically I'm going to be doing 6 more things to improve your mocks, like techniques, tips, whatever it is. Unrelated, but what kind of shelves do you have? I have Ivar shelves. from IKEA, these wooden ones, and they're absolutely beautiful. I got the idea from David, Solid Brick Studios, and I freaking love them. They're a little expensive, but don't get mad at Kyle, just block him. I mean, I like to address it. I don't know. I like to, if people want to come in here, they're free to share their opinions, but they also need to be aware that I will share mine back, especially if they're kind of ridiculous. Let's see, I already read that. Rockwall tutorial is really good. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, I like doing tutorials. I'd like to do more. They're hard though. They're hard. It's hard to build something, and it's even harder for me to explain how to build something in a way that like is coherent and you guys understand, you know what I mean? But I've been working on it. Anyways, all right. First ever mock build. Oh, first ever mock to try build. What do you want? First ever mock, try to build what you want. Oh, you're okay. I see. And just get better every time. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, looking at your old mocks can help. I just want to know how you've been feeling lately because I'm bored. I've been feeling pretty good. Tired, but you know, it's the holiday season. Get to spend time hanging out, doing fun stuff. But it's nice. How have you been doing? Sounds like you've been bored. Would you ever buy the original 2000 Millennium Falcon and compare it to the UCS version? I know hardcore Star Wars builders laugh at the LG Falcon. No, because controversial opinion here for a hardcore Star Wars fan. I don't like the Millennium Falcon. I'm not a fan of it, so I don't have. That's why I don't have the UCS one. I actually don't have a single Millennium Falcon in my collection. Just kind of crazy. So I don't plan on doing that. Hey, Coconut, just started a channel and I'm doing custom minifigs. Do you have any ideas for other things or to make it better? Putting those custom minifigs in mocks or stop motions. People would like to see that. I don't know if you've done that already. Maybe tutorials on how to create custom stuff. I don't know. I don't really do a whole lot with minifigs, so I don't know like what kind of minifig content is good. But those are some things I would try. Maybe look around at see like other YouTube channels that are minifig oriented, what kind of content and videos they put out. Not and then, you know, don't just copy it, but use it for inspiration. Do you know a lot about pad printing? Always wanted to put some money to the side for a pad printer. Just got to learn about it. I wish I did Fordo builds because I think you'd be so cool to like pad print minifigs. I know Blackbird Motion Studios, he pad prints minifigs. So I don't know if you have Instagram or you can always hit him up on YouTube. He's got I think he has a pad printing machine himself or he has someone who does it for him, but he would definitely be able to answer some questions for you. How do you feel? Do you feel as though for newer YouTubers, they should buy into making fast-paced content that seems to be doing really well at the moment, or slower-paced video that the creator would prefer? Oof. Lego Master Harry hitting it hard with the deep questions because this is something I struggle with myself, Lego Master Harry. Do I give over to the new style of content or do I stick with, because, you know, you guys have seen my videos. I'm definitely much slower paced than those. I would say blend the two. Keep yourself, keep your style, but integrate what you like about the new style. So don't completely 100% just start doing it because you're going to lose some authenticity and your channel may lose what makes it unique to you and may start to look like other people's channels more and more. So try and, you know, maybe speed up the editing. Like for me personally, one thing I took and really tried to integrate more was humor. I saw those videos like they have a lot of humor and I didn't have any humor at all really. So I started putting more humor, memes and stuff to make people laugh in my videos. And I tried to make them a little bit more snappy, putting in some more effort into effects and edits and stuff. But at the same time, I'm not jamming it full of memes. They're still a little bit slower paced. I'm still doing like Lego Star Wars mock. So the best advice I could give would be take what you like about that new style and then integrate it with what you're currently doing because it's definitely important to change and grow with the trends and not just stay with what you've always been doing, you know, but you don't want to lose that side of it that makes it unique to you. So I'd kind of say do a little bit of both, but I mean, I'm right in the thick of it too, man, because there were points where I'm like, I should just go all in. And I kept thinking like, I need to make my videos more and more like everybody else's videos. And I was like, well, then I'm just going to lose, like, I started to lose a little bit of my excitement to edit and make videos because I was like, there are many things about that style that I dislike. And so I kind of, you know, took what I liked and then added it and made what I was currently doing better. But I still feel like mine are pretty slow paced compared, or not necessarily slow paced, but there just isn't this constant like barrage of memes, sound effects, edits, jump cuts, and stuff. It's a little bit slower in that regards because I feel like they're still pretty fast paced. So that would be my advice. Kind of want to buy the Ambush on Ferric set. David really likes it. I like it too. I honestly want to get that set as well. I think it's a good set. It's a little expensive though. I would like to find it for maybe like 50 bucks if I could, 50, 60. What do you think your next big mock will be after Corsongs? Well, I'm about 80% sure what my next mock is, but I can't reveal it yet. Surprise. But I'm pretty sure I know what I'm doing. It's going to be, that one's going to be interesting. I'll be working with a piece or a color that I never really worked with before. So, it'll be interesting. I'm tired. Good night, everybody. Good night, Mayo. Get some rest, get some sleep. Thank you for joining and supporting the channel this year in 2022. I appreciate it. And we'll catch you later, man. I already read that. Just got a pad printed P2 Rex. It's awesome. Nice. Where'd you get it from? That's some good advice. Been struggling with that one. Well, I'm glad you liked it. Sometimes I feel like my advice just sounds super generic. But I think it's because I think about it so much. It seems obvious to me because I've thought about it so often. Personally, I've been growing with shorts quite a lot and spend 30 minutes to an hour making shorts each week. And then long form content to post once a week, which I enjoy more. Yeah, that's another way to do it is... pull in people with the shorts, and then as long as you have good content, they'll stick around. Because some channels, that's all they do is shorts, and I don't know. That's one way to do it. That's definitely a viable option. But I think having long form content, because I used to post one short a week as well. I stopped doing it. I'll start doing it again probably next month or in February, a couple of months. And it can be good because, it can be a great way to quickly pull in a lot of people. You just have to make sure that you have a real good hook to keep them on the channel. What's your favorite Star Wars movie? My favorite Star Wars movie is Phantom Menace, definitely. Is eBay a good place to get sets? Any tips to avoid Lego scams? Yeah, eBay is really good. eBay is probably the most secure place to buy outside of like retailers because everybody on there is pretty vetted, it's pretty, you can see the scams. Like you'll see like, if you're looking for Luke's land speeder, you'll see like 15 for like, 50 bucks because it's retired. And then you'll see one for like 100. Kind of obvious there, you know what I mean? Or maybe one for $10. Like if you see any drastic price jumps or changes, those are the ones that I investigate carefully before I buy. And you can get your money back. Like eBay does their money back guaranteed. So even if the person won't give you your refund, I'm pretty sure they'll refund you. I've never had to use it, but that's what I've heard. Yo, Shy Time is my time. What's up, man? How you doing? Just rambling over here, doing my podcast. I wish I could say it's regular, but I think it's been about 2 months since I did the last one. I need to figure out, I want to bring in a co-host because I think podcasts with multiple people are better than a single person podcast, just because I don't know, I feel like it'd be better to have someone to kind of rap with, or kind of talk to, maybe someone who disagrees with what I say, challenges what I say, has different opinions, but still trying to figure out what I want to do in that regard. I would also like to create some new segments, maybe some games or quizzes or stuff. Where do you source your parts? I get pretty much all my parts from Bricklink. I know there's like other places like Brick Owl. I'm super satisfied with Bricklink, so I don't even bother looking anywhere else. Sometimes I do the online Pab wall. Yeah. Also, what would you say to people that are spending a lot of credit cards to buy sets and getting in debt? I mean, I'm not a financial advisor, but I definitely am not. I don't know. Debt is not good. To me, it's like spend responsibly. So whether that means going into debt to invest sets and then making your money back, I don't know. I just say spend responsibly. Like I personally wouldn't recommend going into tons of credit card debt, especially over Lego. But I'm a little bit of a hypocrite there. But I don't know. I would say save your money and like maybe buy a little bit more responsibly and don't go into debt over it. Especially if you're young. Like if you're young, you don't want credit card debt young. Coconut always chooses unique planets to build. If I had to guess, he'll build Umbara, Teth, or maybe Felicia. However, he already did Umbara. Yeah, I already did on bar. That one was kind of a fail, though. Wasn't my best mock, unfortunately. Favorite Clone Wars season? I don't know that I have a favorite Clone Wars season. Because there are some episodes that I really like in those seasons and some that I don't. I got the tumbler for Christmas. Oh, it's such a dope set. I'd love to get that set. All right, I think that'll pretty much wrap it up for the Q&A session, unless anybody else has any last questions that they want to ask. I'll give you guys a couple of minutes, and then we'll move on to the final segment, the Creator Spotlight. I need to come up with a new name because I'm pretty sure someone else already has Creator Spotlight, but I don't remember where I heard that. How did you start Lego? You mean like, how did I start building? My parents bought me Lego when I was a kid, and I loved it more than my other toys. So my parents saw how much I liked and started buying me more Lego and less of the other toys. And then from there, just turned into a full-on obsession / addiction, whatever you want to call it. How much is your monthly limit? It's a decent amount. I don't know. I would say it changes a little bit. Well, no, the limit changes, but sometimes I go over it. I do try to like sell stuff on the side to like pull in extra money to offset that sometimes. So, Coconut, you said you wanted to do Felucia on a large scale. Is that true? Yes. I would like to do Felucia on a large scale. Do you play Battlefront? Yeah, I play Battlefront. I do Patreon Battlefront streams. Just fun. All right, that seems to be the end of the questions. So let's get on to the final segment. I also need to do this. I think next time I do this, I'm going to stream on StreamYard so I can actually pull stuff up because on Streamlabs you can't screen share. I mean, I can. It's very inconvenient. But the person I want to screen share, or wow, sheesh, the person I want to highlight is Thick Rick. Some of you guys may be familiar with him. Some of you may not. But he is a YouTuber. He's been on YouTube for a while, but he recently started uploading a lot. He actually has an online decal store called Thick's Fig Shop, and that is where I get all of my decals. Bro, I've had a question forever. Hit me up, man. I'll see if I can answer it. So, like, pretty much all of the minifigs you see me decal, I get the decals and the helmets and the accessories from his store. He has incredible customer service, great prices. They're a little bit more expensive than Jonak because he puts a little bit more detail on them. But yeah, great store. So if you're looking for decals or anything, I would recommend checking him out. But what we're going to be talking about today is his YouTube channel because he's recently started posting. He's been doing some good stuff. I would recommend checking him out, especially if you want to get into decaling because he posts what's coming out, what's new. Sometimes he'll do tutorials. And one thing that he did that I really liked was he did like a little vlog of how he comes up with some of his ideas. So he was showing us like this hood he was making for Jedi Temple Guardians, I think, and he was showing the process of how he would make it in it was one of Adobe's things. I don't remember. Not After Effects, Illustrator maybe. So he'd like draw it out and then print it out on the cloth, see if it would work. Too small, adjust it. Then he'd go back into his program and readjust things. So just kind of cool behind the scenes stuff because I am fascinated with people who run decal stores. I'm like, how does that work? How do you do all that? So it's kind of cool to get behind the scenes a little bit. See that he does a lot of minifig videos as well. He has a incredible minifig collection, like right up there with Rich Boy J. I'm not sure who has more minifigs because he has 2 or 3 full display cases of official Lego Star Wars minifigs. Like he doesn't just collect the decals; he does official ones. So he does lots of minifigs. Looking at his channel right now to see what he's been doing. He's been pumping out a lot of content recently. He's been hitting that grind. His thumbnails are looking good. It's good stuff. So I'd recommend checking out Thick Brick. He's got 2.5 thousand subscribers, and he's killing it. Especially if you're into decaling and stuff, you'll like it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to say. Do a Camino mock. Rich Boy J, I don't know if that I could do one right in the middle of Rich Boy J doing one. Competing Camino mocks, I would not want to compete with Rich Boy J. Personally, I like StreamYard more. It gives more features. Yeah, StreamYard I think is more, like you said, feature friendly. I like Streamlabs more because it's much more customizable, and I think you can get better looking streams. and you don't have a limit because I didn't want to pay. So you can stream as much as you want on Streamlabs for free, but StreamYard, if you stream over 20 hours a month, you have to pay, which is kind of annoying. But they do have some great, for me, the way I say it, the way I see it or recommend is StreamYards is great for beginners or people who have like a full-on show because all the features and stuff, the screen share, and then Streamlabs is better for just like customizing streaming settings. And you can just do more there. You can do more in the settings side of things with Streamlabs. Have you ever bought anything from Republic Bricks? No, I haven't. Hey, could you do a Tatooine mock? You could have the Lars homestead and little boy Anakin's house. Maybe. I don't know. I've never been really drawn to Tatooine as far as like building a mock. Never been drawn to that place. So I'd have to really get excited or, start getting excited or passionate about Tatooine. But who knows? Maybe. I do have the UCS Sandcrawler that I think would be fun to put into a mock. All right, guys. I think that's pretty much everything I have. Before we quit, I want to get some feedback and some suggestions for you guys on how to improve the podcast and make it better because I feel like it's hanging on by a thread. It's barely hanging in there. I want to make it better. I want to make it more consistent, but to do that, I want to make it more entertaining and interesting for you guys. So what are things that would make you more interested in the podcast, things you would want to hear, segments? Yeah, it does have it's 27 hours, somewhere in the 20s. I don't remember what it is. So if you do stream a lot, that can be an issue because, I think it's like 20 bucks a month, 10 bucks a month to be able to have unlimited, which is kind of a lot. Have you ever done a stop motion? I haven't. Could I display P1 and P2 clones? Yeah, for sure. I do it. Shout outs? You mean like the creator thing I do? Creator spotlight? I don't know. I don't know what I do shout outs already. That's what the creator spotlight is. I just feel like it needs something still. I need some things before it's complete. I would like some jingles and like an intro and an outro, like to make like a little intro that I could play at the beginning. Jorge, what's up, man? Do you plan on selling decal figs? I've considered it, but right now, no, just because I don't want to balance. I don't want to take time away from my mock building. But maybe once I get more in the flow of the channel and it's easier to put out content, I might dedicate some time to like decal. I would like to decal grunts, like basic minifigs that a lot of people want in large quantities for people to build army build with, like P1, P2 grunts, shock troopers, stuff like that. Just be yourself. That's entertaining enough for Q&A. Yeah, I feel like it could be better. Like I feel like it could be more interesting. Guests, yeah, I've been thinking a lot about guests. I would really love to get a co-host. I personally think that would help the most because then you wouldn't just hear me sitting here. Like I want someone else's thoughts and opinions, but I just don't really know. It's hard. It's hard to find a good co-host, just because people are busy. People are doing their own things. Happy New Year, man. Oh, Fordo Builds. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. $1.99 donation. Thank you. It's going towards the channel, baby. I hope you have a happy new year as well. I hope we all have a great 2023. Maybe you could talk more about Coruscant. You want like mini Coruscant updates in the podcast? Maybe. Planning on making a feed mock. What do you think? I think that's awesome. I think you should do it. You should honestly try to make a stop motion. They're a lot of time, but they're fun to make. I've considered it, especially with like, the giant mocks I do. It would be, it'd be kind of cool to see a giant Coruscant stop motion. So who knows? Maybe I'll try one this year. Do you like the new helmet holes? No, I don't. I'd buy just for information. I need Boyle and Waxer, but I prefer to buy from you. I actually did a Waxer. He didn't turn out amazing, but I think he turned out pretty good. I definitely have to practice a lot more before I'd be comfortable selling to people. Where do you sell things on? eBay is usually where I sell stuff. Every once in a while, Instagram. Hey, Coconut, would you rather destroy Coruscant or delete your channel? I mean, I'd destroy Coruscant because deleting my channel, I'd be losing a ton of stuff that I'd never be able to get back, but I could always rebuild Coruscant. There's no mock stream today. No, it was the end of the year, last day of 2022, so I decided to do an episode of A Man and His Bricks, which you caught at the very end, unfortunately. But yeah, I'll continue to think about the podcast. Maybe do some more segments and games or something. We'll figure something out. But I appreciate you guys. 2022 was a great year. Great support from you guys. I've really enjoyed getting to know you guys, just hanging out, really solidifying and growing the community, learning, trying out new content. It's been a great year. I really appreciate you guys and your support. I know that's really all I can say. I wish I could do more, but thank you guys. You guys are definitely like, it may not seem like a big deal to you that you watch my videos. It takes, 12 minutes out of your day and then you go off and do the rest of your thing. But it means a lot to me, especially when you guys like and comment as well. It just makes it feel like what I'm doing, you guys are a big reason why what I do feels meaningful and worthwhile because of the support and the outreach and the response I get from you guys. Because, if I put out videos and just nothing happened, it would be kind of hard to feel that same level of, joy and satisfaction and fulfillment. So I appreciate you guys in that regard. And I just appreciate, especially the Patreons, people who donate their time, all of you guys who come to the streams, come to the videos. I also appreciate people who give me feedback and are like, hey, this could be a little bit better. You could change this and do it in a respectful way. I have definitely been getting a lot more of people who are less than kind, but I appreciate you guys who are willing to take the time to do it in a kind and respectful manner. Because I need feedback. I love feedback. So, um, let's see. Can't think if there's anything else. When will you do your next mock video? Oh yeah, I guess I can give you guys an update on the rest of the year. So tomorrow is going to be my next mock video, episode or week 29 of Coruscant. 28, 29. You guys know. Episode of Coruscant, and then next week we'll have another mock building challenge, tutorial, lots of good stuff coming. I appreciate you too, Coconut. You are amazing. You spend so much money for our entertainment. Thanks, I appreciate that. Do you think people are overreacting to the small bad things about the ATT, considering it's a really good model? Uh, I think more of the complaints with the figures, not so much the model itself, because it's a pretty good model. It's pretty decent. Anyways, I feel like I'm just rambling now. I gotta end this. Thank you guys so much for joining. Enjoy the rest of your New Year. Stay safe, celebrate safely, and I will catch you next time. But until then, happy building.